come up, steady scheming. We ain't got a lot, but you know we believe in what we feel in our hearts as we reach for the ceiling. They all just frowned and shook their heads. I nodded with them smiling, took their bets. Came out on top and they all on the losing end. Nothing turned out how they thought it really should have been. And I ought to think that for real. Gave me the fire, they turned me to steel. If love is war, life is a battlefield. Headed for the sky, wonder how that'll feel. Ready to be living it, making dividends. Winning is a goal and I know that I'm getting it. My rise to the top is getting imminent. Waiting on the challengers, go ahead and send them in. This song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. Song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. I can see the sun's rays and they're parting the clouds. My path is so clear and I'm walking it now. I think all the haters are starting to doubt why they hated in the first place. It's hard to figure out where all of that came from. It's a shame, son, could have come along, but you're digging your grave. Someday we can set aside our differences and you can chill in my villa, sipping on expensiveness, let go with the bitterness. Relax, the battle is over.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. It's such late notice. I love to be impromptu sometimes when I do my live streams and whatnot. Just depends on how I feel. But wanted to jump on here to just give you guys a quick showcase, and then, of course, answer any customer service or technical related questions regarding bills, Supreme Ultra, and whatnot. So tonight's video, I thought about just making a video, but I figured, hey, why not just go live? We're going to take a look at something I kind of went over a couple of years ago, back in 2021, is the Supreme SINDEN LIGHTGUN menu. If you guys haven't seen it before, it is the only Retropie script that allows you to fully access your SINDEN LIGHTGUN, going through all the menus directly within the interface. And then, of course, it also has the auto on start, so that way you never have to worry about if your gun is on or if you're off. So once you have it turned on, it's always on. You just have to go in, calibrate it, do whatever you need to, but you never have to worry about turning it on. So for the most part, one of the things that I definitely want to also go into is that, you know, things like this are made by hobbyists in the community. This was not made by the official SINDEN team or Andy SINDEN. This was made by the Supreme team for your enjoyment. Now, if you guys want to get this, you would have to be a supporter. I believe it will be available, Supreme Ultra 2.0, here at the end of the month, maybe around the 27th or 28th. So let's go ahead and get into it, because I want to show you guys all the work that's been done on this. And I didn't want to inundate this video and all the information with the other showcase of Supreme Ultra, because there's a lot of information here, and I definitely believe that it is its diligence is definitely due. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So right now you guys are looking at Supreme Ultra 2.0. Menus and stuff kind of look the same here. So let's go back into options. And previously, I think when I showed you guys this, everything was on the server side. However, now the SINDEN script and a lot of other scripts like video output scripts and whatnot, which I'll cover in a later video, is all going to be on the image itself, so you guys don't have to worry about anything. Now, even though the Batacera image, you know, I did show that here on the channel as well. You can use the Wee Dolphin Bar AE Gun 4 and SINDEN LIGHTGUN plug and play. It's a little different than that, because even with that, you don't have access to fully calibrate the gun. You don't have access to the full menu, whereas this, you have full access to everything. All the things or settings that you primarily have on PC, you're going to have a very mirrored-like image or scripts available here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So let's go to controller tools, and let's take a look at No, we're not going to mess with the light gun for aim trap. We're going to go to send in light gun menu. All right, so once we're here, this is what the menu looks like. You have your basic startups. In fact, let me go back for a second. You have your light gun menu, you have your config setting, you have send in custom settings, you have your light gun auto start. I already have it on, so that way once you turn it on, you never have to worry about turning it on and off. And then, of course, you also have the settings for the recoil. But the one thing that you definitely don't see is the script itself. And so this is compiled of over 3,500 lines of code. So this will be beneficial to you. I'm going to go ahead and access so you guys can see it. And the cool thing about this script is that, again, it allows you to fully access the light gun and access everything that you need to. Let me go ahead and pull up. Let's see the classic menu there. So that's the classic menu there. Let me go ahead and blow this up so you guys can see it. So that's your classic menu that you guys would typically be familiar with. And give me a second here. I'm going to pull up the other menus. And the cool thing about this is, it makes it a lot easier because in order to fully adjust your sending light gun on Retropie currently, you have to go log in through WinSCP and then kind of manually adjust it and figure it out while you're doing it, which is really a hassle. You want to have everything directly there on the interface while it's there. So let me just go ahead and pull this up. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and cancel this. You can go back. All right. So these are all the configs. I'm just going to scroll down here while I pull up some other things here on my computer. So you guys can quickly just get an idea about everything that's going to be accessible to you. Now, the only unfortunate thing is, is you don't get the PC interface that shows you the gun. You are just going to get a basic text menu that allows you to access all of these options while you're using your light gun. So all the scripts that you guys see, or actually all the options that you would see on your computer, are right here. I'm just going to kind of quickly scroll through a lot of these because there's a bunch of them. I think there's like maybe 2, maybe 3 pages of this. And I think it's going to keep going. See if it goes to the next page. Let's see. I think it's like 100 and something lines. All right, there it is. Page 2. Now, again, for those of you just joining, if you're wondering, like, what exactly is this and how does this make your gaming a lot easier? I do know that there's the Harry Barebones image, which is already kind of pre-set up for you. You could do this with, you could do the same thing with this. Obviously, I think I may be hosting a separate live video tutorial for my Patreon showing you how you can make any Retropie image sending compatible. Slightly different from this. I mean, you could do that with this as well, but another thing that I'm definitely fond of is making sure people get their proper credit and due. So, and another thing that I definitely want to mention too is, sometimes there'll be individuals that will make a video saying that they don't want to show any copyrighted material or ROMs or BIOSes in their tutorials or share links, but you tend to forget, like, this information that I'm sharing you guys, this code, this information, this is all copyrighted material itself. Somebody actually owns this, as well as a lot of other scripts and programming code that have been added to Retropie by community members. So just keep that in mind, because all of that is copyrighted material, and it is intellectual property. All right, so here we have, I'm going to go here into let's see, we're going to go into controller tools, and let me see here. I think I should probably blow this up for you guys so you guys could see it. So this is what you're actually looking at. So that's what you see on the bottom right. That's the actual menu, but this is the programming information that makes everything possible. So as you can see here, we'll go ahead and blow this up again. Oh, you guys probably see it. There's over 3,500 or 3,600 lines of code. This was all written by somebody. Again, this was not provided by the SINDEN team. This is all the work of the Supreme. So if you guys happen to see this eventually in another video, whatever the case might be, this was made by someone. And this took hours and hours and hours of work in order to get this in here. And I love to show this to all of my fellow subscribers, so you guys can see the work that the community puts in. That way nobody ever takes anything like this for granted, because this is not made by a company. This was made by a user in the community. And so this is just all a lot of work. I mean, if I sat here and just kind of tabbed through everything by itself, it would take quite hours. But no, this was hours. This was days upon days. And so yeah, we're just pleased to announce that you guys will finally be getting it at the end of this month. And this should make your SINDEN LIGHTGUN experience a lot easier. You guys will be able to use this with Ultra. And the other benefit is, Ultra is the strongest Retropie 4 image that's out there. I mean, we had Ultra 1.0. You have Wolfenos's image is based on that. Damaso, I think Damaso made an image on Ultra. And then you had Venom, you had Pistolero, and then whoever else may have made something off of Ultra as well. I know you also had Out of My Mind Arcade. He made a Ultra image. So this is Ultra 2.0. It's going to have a lot of different scripts running in the background as well. And that's something else that a lot of people kind of overlook, is forgetting that there are additional scripts that help add to the gameplay. A lot of people don't see that. And then, of course, one of the things that definitely want to reiterate was back when the SINDEN LIGHTGUN first came out, we didn't know. Nobody actually knew that there are different variants of RetroArch. And so, I talked to Andy about it when the SINDEN LIGHTGUN came out, because I had hours, spending it in time trying to get this working, and it wouldn't work. And then we found out that there was different versions of RetroArch out there. So that's one of the reasons why this script isn't so important for you SINDEN users out there, and those of you who have Ultra 2.0, because there will be people that will put out a video saying, hey, I got the best image, but yet it doesn't, or best build. And a lot of that stuff that you guys may see is taken from other images, taken from other builds, and it doesn't incorporate a lot of the things that you guys are looking at here. So let me go ahead and just back out. I want to pull up some other options for you. All right, so this is the other image, the install SINDEN LIGHTGUN patch, so you guys can freely update this as well. Hey, what's going on, Eric 310? So these are just some of the files here. I'm just giving you guys a quick rundown of what the interface will look like. You could turn off and on 64-bit support. And then, of course, you also have your border menus that are on here as well. But pretty much that is it. That will be the SINDEN LIGHTGUN menu for Ultra 2.0. I know I made a video very similar to this a couple years ago. However, didn't show anything in the script because we didn't want people trying to take it and claim it as their own. And nobody reached out to try to buy it. So I guess nobody really wanted it, because it was up for sale. And technically it is still up for sale. If you guys want to buy the intellectual property rights for it, it is still available, even though it is still out there. Yeah, you could take this down to the copyright office and pay your $500 or whatever and get it registered if you are the owner. But again, this is a pretty cool script for the retro gaming community. This is going to revolutionize a lot of gameplay because, one of the reasons why people love Supreme's work is you also have the marquee script. You also have video loading screens. Video loading screens was also made by somebody on the Supreme team as well. That is not a standard Retropie caveat. You also have the marquee script, which I love. You could play videos on there and then, of course, set up your own video marquee script. That was actually made by someone else, but then it was modified and then improved upon by a couple guys on the Supreme team and whatnot. And then I think some of you have also improved upon that, as you wanted to, whether you want to play games and have your box art and animated art show up at the same time while you're gaming by using the dual display as well. But before I go, I just want to show you guys a few other things here. We also have Switcheroo. And again, I'll go over this more in detail maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll just do a video on this altogether or maybe go live again. But you have Switcheroo. You also still have Fix My Build. And then, of course, you have all of your visual tools. And let's see here. I know the visual tools have changed. Let's see here. We've got bezels. Oh, there it is. So if you guys are familiar with that video output script where you have to go in and you can change it to your CRT or whatnot, it's actually moved here. It's under resolution tool. So this is something else that's also changed with Ultra 2.0. But of course, again, I'll go over this a little bit more in detail in a further review. But it's pretty cool. It's nice to know that you have people thinking about stuff like this. And something else I want to definitely add is the individuals that worked on this, they don't have the SINDEN LIGHTGUN equipment. They don't have it at all. But they could have further improved upon this by creating a 4K script, 1080p or 720p. But they aren't able to fully adjust their TV and adjust the borders because they don't actually have, the equipment. So, so for those of you wondering, like, hey, Keel, what's the difference between this and the Batacera? The Batacera is like plug and play. It's still a little bit off with the SINDEN. Like, even if you hold in the left D-pad and try to have it directly in front of the TV, it's still a little bit off to like the left or the right. And there's really no way to fix that. However, on this, you could fully calibrate it because the menu is there. And so I couldn't find the files. I do know that there are hidden somewhere in the background, somewhere on that Batacera image. You can try to find it. I went SCP and logged in. Couldn't find it in the time that I did have. But this is fully accessible. You don't have to log into WinSCP to change any variables, of the light gun. And then, of course, you will be able to access and do everything yourself. And, on a more important note, too, I also want to let you guys know that working with light guns and working with the retro gaming community, this stuff isn't easy. I know we make a lot of stuff as easy as possible. We try to make it beneficial for you. So that way you're not spending a lot of time trying to figure out something yourself. But this is a tinker hobby, and for a lot of this stuff, I'll probably discuss this in another video, but please be mindful that there's a lot of work that you do need to understand and do if you guys are getting like trackballs, spinners, light guns, because the only reason or the only way that you have true light gun functionality is if the emulators have it. And any dev or anybody on RetroArch, MAME team, that works with any of the emulators, anybody at all, any of the individual teams, the people that work on Flycast or Redream or whatever, they can shut off a lot of features. And a lot of the features that like even light gun support, they could turn it off. And so I don't think that, a lot of times when people are getting involved in some of these things are fully understanding the scope or the risk of what it is. In fact, I can tell you that when I first, got my Mayflash Dolphin bar, and I had asked around the community, I think this was back in early 2019 or 2018. I had it was actually 2018. I had my Mayflash Dolphin bar. That was, it was only a $20 investment, but I wasn't really sure what it would work with, how many emulators would support it. And then, back then, a lot of people didn't know much about light gun setup, even though the Mayflash Dolphin bar isn't technically a light gun, it's a motion controller. But it was a risk. It was $20, but I didn't know which emulators would support it. I didn't know what it would work with. I would just try it with a few games. And so, with you guys out there spending several $100s on light guns and then looking for additional support or whatever, that's a huge investment if you're not in tune or planning on investing a lot of time, if you're not really an in-depth tinkerer to understand how a lot of this stuff works, because it could be risky, because you could buy a light gun or something and an emulation team or whatever sends out a patch and totally disables your light gun functionality, which could, happen. But, thanks to the modding community, people making joy access, things like this that makes your light gun experience a lot easier. You do have, some help, but you got to put in the work. I mean, you have to. I mean, can't even tell you guys how many times I've bought something or invested time and I have no manual, I have no tutorial, I just got to figure it out for myself and then tell you guys about it. So with that being said, if I wonder, Eric, if anybody watching, if you guys have any other technical related questions. I think I know I had some other people commenting on videos while I was live streaming, but I would love to have some of these individuals watch, because we see tons of light gun questions. There's been a ton of light gun questions even regarding the AE light gun. Just even in the past few days, people trying to set it up to your TV and they've been having a hard time and having some difficulties with it. So, that's what we're here to do, and get you guys up and running. But this is a pretty cool script. Again, if you guys are subscribed to my Patreon, here, I'll go ahead and type it here in the... Or if you're subscribed to the Supreme Patreon, you can get access to this build right away. But officially, for the public release, it will be released as far as like the 28th or something like that. But it has a ton of new features on here. I'll cover this in another video. But it's all in fun. I mean, this is really handy. I mean, I love retro gaming. Haven't played it too much. Been playing a lot of Xbox lately and working on some other tutorials. But make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out and have a good night.